Welcome to Part 1 of the Perkins Local Application Training. This part of the application summarizes how the results of the submitted Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment will be used to inform the local education agency career and technical education activity in the coming year.
For this question, the LEA will review the results of the submitted Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment and provide a brief overview. The LEA will communicate the main outcomes of the CLNA. For example, the LEA may consider including an overview of the occupations identified as in demand and high wage in review of the state or regional labor market information. The LEA can provide an overview of the CLNA-driven reasons for selecting the programs of study to be included in the LEA's CTE programming. The LEA can provide a description of the professional development that will be offered to CTE staff to support a high-quality CTE program. And lastly, an LEA may want to include details of goals for student achievement that have been set for the CTE program. An LEA can refer to the data in their supplemental report to develop these goals. For example, if the CTE learner academic proficiency fell below the state baseline performance, the LEA might want to set meeting the state baseline as a goal. As a reminder, please reference Part 7, Summary of the Submitted CLNA, lines 2, 3, and 4 for assistance in responding to this question. Check the box to indicate that the LEA has reviewed the baseline data in completing the submitted CLNA and in preparation for completion of this Perkins application.
For this question, the LEA will review the findings of the LEA's submitted CLNA and provide a narrative describing how funds will be used to develop and implement evaluations of the LEA CTE programs. A good starting point in developing your response may be to identify the decision points where the LEA indicated the best use of funds to develop and implement program evaluations for the CTE program. Consider including details about the nature of the evaluations. Describing the evaluation process the LEA will use will be a good starting point. The LEA can include how often the evaluations will occur and what will be done with the results of the evaluation. A focus should be placed on describing how the results can be used to improve the CTE program's student performance. Perkins 5 requires the LEA to collaborate with stakeholders to evaluate the CTE programming. An interesting fact, the term workforce appears 47 times in the Perkins 5 legislation, so it's safe to say the LEA should plan to include workforce representatives in the evaluation process. Oftentimes, including stakeholders in the evaluation process presents situations where using Perkins funds can be helpful in facilitating the collaboration process. For example, an LEA may choose to schedule an industry advisory committee meeting during the school day. In this situation, an LEA may allocate Perkins funds for substitute pay so that the teachers can participate in the convening. Another example may include asking a teacher to meet with the industry advisory committee outside of the academic year. In this case, the LEA can allocate Perkins funds for teacher extra duty pay. Perkins funds can also be used to pay for contracted or professional services for third-party evaluation. Another example of an appropriate expenditure might be including pay for meeting facility or travel expenses incurred for stakeholders to participate in the collaboration required for completing the CLNA. Of course, this is not an all-inclusive list of acceptable expenditures. The list you see merely serves as some possible examples. As a reminder, please reference the submitted CLNA Part 7 summary, lines 2, 3, and 4 for assistance in responding to this question. Thank you for participating in this part of the Perkins Local Application Training. If you need additional assistance, please contact one of the CTE specialists at the Texas Education Agency or your Education Service Center CTE specialist. The next training module will cover Part 2, Programs of Study Funding.